Hello, this is Joe83. This is episode 22 of the My Team Lotus career mode, and just before Abu Dhabi, I thought I'd show this upgraded screen. We're going to get a new development for the Halo, and also show the little performance graph, and we're actually third, and once that goes to common, we'll be second. So the result in Brazil maybe not as surprising as we thought it might have been, but still a very good result, and if you haven't seen it, then go and check it out. You definitely don't want to miss Brazil last time out. But into Abu Dhabi then, a track that surprisingly I actually do quite like. I know a lot of people think this is a massive Tilcadrome and don't like it at all, but I'm actually a little bit of a fan of it. A little hidden gem in the calendar. So yeah, 3 practice programs, hopefully we can do well, because yeah, as I said, I do enjoy it to drive, and hopefully yeah, we can show that by where we finish. But into the practice programs, not too bothered really, as it's right at the end of the season, and we don't have any points to even spend before this, so we can't really afford any big upgrades now, because we just bought that massive air upgrade as we showed a minute ago. But yeah, try and get as many points as possible, and into practice 2 actually for the nighttime session for the race strategy, and yeah, fully purple score on that one, and straight into qualifying Q1. And we have struggled to get out of into Q2 quite regularly, but more recently we're going to Q2 in Brazil, and we're going to Q3 in Mexico, so hopefully we can continue on a similar vein. Coming around to finish my banker lap. I wasn't too great at this track. I find generally the low speed corners on most tracks are the ones where the AI are way stronger than me. And yeah, you can see 10th place currently, but by the end of the session it wasn't 10th place, it was actually 17th, so really doing to improve. We're half a second up, so it should be okay, and we need to get in top 16 in a minute to actually get through to Q2. But yeah, as I was saying, low speed corners are very much my weak point, and this track has a lot of low speed corners, so it's going to be quite a challenge up against the AI, which is still set to 107, didn't change the matter in Brazil this time, but half a second improvement, and it was just about scraping through into Q2. Only in 15th though, which wasn't too good. And my teammate De Vries, obviously third fastest car in theory, although I don't think it was around this track. But De Vries on 1.5 seconds off of pole. I'm 1.9 seconds off pole. It's just so close, to be fair. But we scraped through into Q2, so that's all that really matters. But this is my best lap in Q2. The first run was on the dead softs from Q1, because I had to do 2 runs. But yeah, through turn 1, nice and safely there. And now these 2 corners, obviously easy to flat out in these cars. We're almost a 10th up already on the previous lap. Just the fresh tyres really giving us that edge on grip. And yeah, braking just after 100 meter board, throwing it into the first pile of chicane, slowing it down nicely for the second one, not taking too much curb there. I can unsell the car. And into the hairpin, second gear, maybe dipping at first, but not on this occasion. And try and get a nice exit onto the first DRS straight, and one of the main overtaking points on this track. And we're 3 tenths up already, although the first lap was pretty shocking. So got to try and do better this time. And down towards the chicane at the end of the DRS straight, braking just for 100 meters, and second gear, trying to take a nice apex on the first one, short shift into third, over that apex curve on the second one, nice exit there. A little bit of oversteer on the traction, but it was no real time loss, and we're almost 4 tenths up now compared to the previous. But the previous lap did leave me in 16th place, so we need to improve to get off the back row into the triple chicane now. Trying to be really, really committed through here, taking a nice apex on the first, trimming that second one, and absolutely lawn mowing the third one. Yeah, not the best corner ever for me there, but we gained a lot of time, and I'm going to carry on. So yeah, apologies if anyone's offended, but I don't really care. So into the triple right now, trying not to lock up the front right, done that pretty well, and under the hotel section, missing the apex a little bit on the first, but trying to get the second one nicely. Third gear once again, over that curb pretty well. A bit of oversteer and exit, not going to help. We're up to a second clear of the previous lap now. 5th gear for the second last corner, over those curbs nicely, and really, really committed through the final corner. A lot of curb on the inside, and 1.2 seconds improvement. And that puts me in 11th place, I believe, on the steering wheel there, you can see. And that's pretty much perfect. I was very much aiming for there. I didn't think Q3 was really possible, so to be 11th, I'm very happy with that. Only just outside, we're 200s out of Q3, but that puts me on the same row as my teammate. But actually, by the time we got onto the grid, it was 8th place, because there were loads of engine penalties for all the AI. So yeah, the team's decided to take all the penalties right at the end of the season, so that's raised me up 3 positions. And yeah, so I'm going to be starting, we're still with the free tyre choice, so I'm starting on mediums, but we're 3 places higher than we qualified. So yeah, onto the grid for the Fire Lights for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's quite a long hold, but eventually we're away, and we've got Stroll and Sainz directly ahead of me. We're going to try and get a good start on the pair of them, and go down the inside already of Sainz into turn 1, trying to brake nice and late, and sending one on Perez by accident as well. Wheel-to-wheel contact there. Perez actually goes wide over those curbs, so that gives me a good exit compared to him. Luckily no damage done. But through turn 2, nice and flat out, as even on heavy fuel it's still flat. And now Sainz is the car directly behind me. He's going to try one down the outside of turn 4. We just about held him off, it seems like, into the chicane. No real overtaking opportunities through there. And the top 4 are going to be very hard to beat this race. We've seen some tracks, the top 4 just leave everyone else for dust. I imagine that's what's going to happen again, to be honest, because the Ferraris and the Mercedes are very superior around here to the rest of us, the midfield, if you will. But this quite a long way into the race, actually, lap 5, and you can see the top 4, as I predicted, have indeed gone. So we've got 6.5 seconds to Vettel already. So any chance of repeating that Brazil victory has gone already. So yeah, the best we can really hope for is, well, my aim really was to try and finish best of the rest. The Red Bulls are sort of part of the midfield now because their upgrades haven't been too good. But yeah, so 5th place is effectively best of the rest. Our science can't really make anything happen. And a few laps later, obviously the medium tyres were better, the better race tyre. And a few of the top guys are in. That's Hamilton and Vettel in the pits already. And Sainz started to drop back a bit on those softs as they wore more and more. So the mediums really were the race tyre to be on at the start. And I'm going to try one-stop strategy. The rest of the soft starters have to do 2 stops, I think. Or they probably will. One stop from soft hard wouldn't be very good anyway. So yeah, the 2 leaders, the other Ferrari and Mercedes, are both in the pits as well. And we're up into the lead of the race. And Sainz also pit that lap. So they're going to get big undercuts on me, but I'm going to do one less stop. So yeah. Hopefully the one stop will be superior, although lap 11 now, a long way into the race, it was pretty much just driving around at the front on my own on a different strategy obviously, and now Hamilton is right behind me on his softs. They've done soft and soft so far, and I imagine they'll go to mediums later in the race. Meanwhile, I've just been on one set of mediums and you can see pit window open, but meanwhile Hamilton's going storming down the outside. Lovely move there, and actually the title fight was pretty interesting because he had Hamilton 5 points clear of Bottas. He's going to try up the inside turn 2. I'm not letting that happen. Bottas has to back out of that one. But yeah, Hamilton was 5 points clear of Bottas going into this race. So it's really winner takes all, which is quite exciting, really. But Hamilton has the upper hand at the minute for the to try and get his 7th title. Bottas searching for his 1st. But you can see on the minimap, the 2 Ferraris also are closing us down pretty quickly. We've got a pit stop coming up. And you can see on the minimap, Sainz is nowhere to be seen. I think he's 5th, but a long way back. So he will have the undercut. But it'll be interesting to see where we are in relation when we come out from our only pit stop of the race. But Bottas, meanwhile, it has the DRS wide open. He's going to go down the inside of this the first chicane. Or I suppose second if you count the turn 4 and 5, but either way, Bottas can't make that work. And now I've got a terrible exit though, and Hamilton meanwhile has taken massive advantage and got 2 seconds clear. And Bottas this time has gone round the outside and into the triple chicane. He is easily ahead into here, and unfortunately I can't make anything happen there. And there's not really much point making anything happen. It's just going to cost me time, and I'm really not racing a Mercedes this race, let's be honest. So yeah, nothing doing there. And at the end of the same lap, as we saw at the pit window, so I'm going to take full notice of that and peel off into the pit lane, getting it nicely slowed down, almost hitting that wall there, which would not have been very healthy, but slowing it down to 50 miles an hour and into the pit lane. And Sainz and Stroll are definitely going to be ahead of me, and you can see they're both on softs as well, so they're going to go for the same strategy as a Mercedes, the soft medium. I'm just going medium hard, so the tyres aren't quite as good, like the performance won't be there, but the time saved from really doing one less pit stop will hopefully pay dividends. And into the I quite like this pit lane exit actually. You can see the amount of cars going past, including my teammate De Vries, who's in there, but they're under the tunnel of turn 1, and we're quite a way behind the Alfa Romeos and my teammate De Vries, and I think it's the 2 Red Bulls up ahead of those 2. Oh no, Albon's behind me, so it must be a Red Bull and an Alpha Tauri. But yeah, we have to close up on them as soon as possible and start carving our way through this traffic, locking up a little bit as Raikkonen's braking pretty early. But all these drivers have another stop to do, so I'm not too fussed if you can't pass them, but it'd be very helpful because the drivers I'm racing really are Sainz and Stroll, who are well clear of this slot. So I need to get past them as soon as possible, not lose any time, and into turn 10, I think this is, braking very late. Raikkonen's broken really early in his final race in this career, as he's already announced he's retiring, but we've just about made it work on the Alfa Romeo driver, and yeah, no fairy tale ending for him. He's down to 13th, but I'm almost out of the race if I carry on starting like that. But down lap 16 now and onto the other Alfa Romeo. We're a bit too far back on this occasion, but in the braking zone, closing up enormously on Giovinazzi. And Verstappen, I think, has a technical issue, Jeff told me, which means that former teammate Pierre Gasly is going to go down the outside, prove his superiority despite Verstappen not having a working car. Meanwhile, Giovinazzi's trying to make it 3 wide, and that's an amazing AI battle, one that you don't really see too often. But they both cleared Verstappen, and unfortunately Verstappen's going to be holding me up for the whole last sector as it's really single file. Giovinazzi has just done a double overtake, by the way. Well done to the Italian there. But yeah, Verstappen really holding me up here on the softs, and I'm pretty sure he had mechanical problems. Either way, he's going to peel off into the pits now anyway, so it doesn't really matter as long as we can stay close enough to Gasly to not drop back and lose the DRS or anything. But you can see Sainz in the pits as well, more crucially, and he's going to be quite a long way back, but on those mediums now to the end of the race, and my hards are already quite a few laps old. I think that's 5 laps old by this point. And you see Hamilton coming out of the pits as well as a championship protagonist, and we're going to be side by side, wheel to a contact there with the 6-time champion down the outside of that nice black Mercedes into the chicane, trying to keep it up the inside, but there's not really much point in fighting that Mercedes, especially on fresh tyres, when my tyres are already 5 laps old or so. It's really difficult to keep behind, and the traction out there was insane for Hamilton. I used plenty of overtake mode and rich mix, and obviously we had a DRS as well, but he was just imperious down that straight, and no catching that Mercedes today, unfortunately. But Gasly, the next lap, is going to peel off into the pit, so that's one less car that I need to overtake. And you can see Hamilton has caught up to Giovinazzi up the road as well, so 2.5 seconds he's pulled out in one lap. So yeah, that pace of the Mercedes was just unbeatable, really. But you can see in the pit lane come Giovinazzi and Ricciardo, and Sainz is 4 seconds back on lap 21 now, so we've got 7 laps to go, and 4 seconds is the gap to Sainz. So hopefully we can keep the pace up and keep him at bay, but unfortunately that is exactly the opposite of what happened, and he's now 2 tenths behind me about 3 laps later. So yeah, Sainz' pace was very good. The McLaren was working really well on this track for some reason. It's not been amazing all season. He got a podium in Singapore, if I remember correctly. But other than that, I don't remember any standout results really for that McLaren team. But I'm going really wide, and Sainz is going to try out the inside of the hairpin there at the end of Sector 1. And unfortunately, well, not for me, but unfortunately for Sainz, it means that he can't make anything happen down straight because his exit was so poor. But 1 lap later, lap 24 now, with only 4 laps to go after this one. So yeah, could hold on potentially for 6th. Sainz looks quite hard to keep at bay. We might be seeing a bit more of him. We'll have to wait and see for next season. But yeah, I'm using plenty of overtake mode and rich mix down this straight, trying to keep him at arm's length. But the McLaren straight on speed isn't amazing. It's obviously got the Renault power unit, and it's quite a draggy car in this game. So the straight on speed of our car isn't amazing either, but I think it's pretty equal to McLaren. So hopping over that curve loads though, and that's a massive slide through the mid corner there in the chicane, and Sainz is going to get a great exit here. That exit was absolutely shocking from myself, but overtake mode and rich mix can't do anything against the power of that McLaren, and its DRS is wide open, and he's going to take that position up the inside of the chicane there. Unfortunately, that's leaving me at the mercy of Stroll and Ricciardo, and Ricciardo's on softs as well, so he's going to be very difficult to keep at bay. But luckily, lap 28 now, Stroll actually dropped back. I think he had some sort of issue as well. And Ricciardo, with the Renault engine, just couldn't get past me on the straight at all. So, yeah, we kind of kept doing what we were doing, just using all the ERS on the exit of the hairpin of turn 5. So, yeah, that basically allowed me to stay ahead of Ricciardo for the entire race. And coming around the final corner, the last corner of the season, Valtteri Bottas has won the race and the championship, which is quite surprising, really. But I'm going to come across the line for 6th place. So, yeah, a bit of an abrupt end there. It wasn't the most enthralling race ever. But obviously doing a different strategy, that's sort of what to expect, what you expect, like only doing 1 less stop. But my teammate De Vries actually did a very good job in 8th. His only his 2nd points in the season. He scored points on his debut in 9th in Silverstone, and he got 8th place here from 15th on the grid as well, so pretty good job for Nick. But it is going to be, unfortunately for him, his last race for us, because 6 points all season, or half a season, isn't really good enough when I've scored 102 there. But meanwhile, Bottas pipped Hamilton to the championship. We just about lost out to Racing Point, unfortunately. Stroll finished 9th, I think, so yeah, those 2 points really making a difference at the end there, and unfortunately we finished 7th in the championship, but that's okay. It's not the worst thing ever. But as I said, we are going to be replacing Nick De Vries, as we have the choice of any drivers now. I've been saving a lot of money, so we have almost 10.5 million. So yeah, going to try and sign a new teammate for next season, which is very exciting. I was looking at Leclerc for quite a while. I thought we might as well give it a shot, see what happens. Despite us not actually having enough money for him, I thought I'd give it a shot, which I don't. Looking back now, that's a little bit stupid. But you can see he'd be a massive upgrade on De Vries, but unfortunately he was not interested. Obviously, a step down from Lotus to Ferrari is not what he's interested in. The marketing team isn't good enough, and the cash wasn't good enough. So that left me with a choice of some of the lower midfield drivers. You can see Albon, Grosjean, Gasly. But the driver I elected for, as I alluded to a bit earlier, was in fact Carlos Sainz from McLaren. It's 9 million to sign. We have 10.5. So yeah, I think it'd be a very good signing. See how much better than De Vries he is. So yeah, approaching him now, the Spaniard from McLaren. Hopefully going to take him on board. And yes, he's interested. So we're going to negotiate the contract. And this is something that was very strange, because obviously when I signed De Vries, he was a free agent. So yeah, the driver auction was something a bit new to me. But we gave it a go. And 7.5 million is our balance. I don't quite know why. I think it's that start 10.5 taken away the 3 million buyout. So McLaren put in one bid of 6.12. I then went 6.17, and McLaren just forgot to respond. So I got him for 6.17 million, which I'm very happy with. The base salary was 6.02, but I just offered him a little bit more and got him with one negotiation. So Carlos signs for Lotus. If you, I'm sure no one's heard that one before, and yeah, that's very nice. And yeah, I'm going to leave the video with this end screen of season 1 as a whole, which is very exciting. And obviously our 2 podiums that stand out really, and yes, 7th in the championship in the end, 102 points. I'm very happy, and hopefully we can move on to better things in season 2. But that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have done, like, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll leave a link in the top right corner of the screen to the playlist for the season. If you missed any episodes, go and check them out. My season 2 will be coming very soon, and it's very exciting, and our car is looking pretty good for a title challenge potentially. But yeah, I'll leave the video here, and yeah, this has been J83, and I will see you next time.